bottom. He was the first man in the history of swimming to break 20 seconds in the 50-yard freestyle, and he's the holder of the NC2A and American record in the 100-yard freestyle. He was also a member of our Olympic team in the 1976 Olympic Games as a member of the sprint freestyle group in the 100-meter freestyle. We can see on the start he uses a grab start, grabs between his feet, pulls himself to the water, dives through a spot, does not flop in, but comes in through a spot, starts his legs, and adds the arm stroke. Notice he starts his kick, then he pulls one arm, and he's swimming freestyle. He determines the depth of the dive by body arch. Here on the stroke, we can see several things. A high elbow, the elbow is above the arm, above the hand. We can see that he has a good front end. His hand looks like it stands still in the front. These are turns he's doing. We can see that it stands still. We can see that he pulls his arm all the way through the back end, high elbow recovery, and a definite catch-up. You can see the hands are coming close together above water. You can see the hand kind of entering. It looks like it's standing still. High elbow recovery on the other hand. It's about halfway through the pull, and the other hand is entered, so there's a definite catch-up. You can see a pull all the way through the back end and the elbow. Underwater, we can see the hand enter, feel for water, start to press, push down and back at the same time. As it gets about halfway through the pulling phase, we can see the other hand entering the water. You see him push all the way through. And we can see the other hand starting to pull halfway through as the other hand enters. So we have definite catch-up, we have a definite back end, we have a definite press on this freestyle. Here's the turn. You can see he pulled both arms to his side and flips over. He does not squat and push, but he explodes off the wall by extending his legs prior to them hitting, starts to extend prior to the legs getting to the wall. See a definite body roll. As one hand enters the water, he'll roll on that shoulder. As the other hand enters, he will switch shoulders. You do not swim flat in the water, but you roll through the water. Here, a step action on the underwater of the turn. You see both hands to his side. We see he takes a dolphin kick to add momentum. Flips over, a little half turn, and just before the legs touch the wall, they start to extend. He pushes off and rolls onto his stomach, starts kicking his legs, and will pull an arm, and he's swimming freestyle. It's an explosion off the wall rather than just a squat and push off the wall. This is Johnny Skinner, the world record holder, the 100-meter freestyle. Uses a grab start, dives, pulls himself to the water rather than diving up and out over and then flopping in. Goes through a spot in the water, does not flop in, starts his leg kick, then he adds his arms. Another view, we can see the definite start of the legs first and then the arm pull. Once again, we can see there's a definite body roll. We can see a definite catch-up on the underwater shot of the stroke. Notice that he is definitely entering through a spot. He is not wasting any motion, pulling himself straight to the water and entering through a spot. On the above water, we can see the catch-up, and we can see a good back end. We can see a front end. On the stop action, we can see the hand turn, feel water, start to press through. As it starts to press, he's on that shoulder. We can see the other elbow up, hand underneath it, so that the elbow is high. So he's about halfway through his pull. We can see the other hand actually entering the water, and he's starting to switch shoulders. So he's not swimming flat, but he changes from one shoulder to the other. He flows through the water. He does just not power himself through the water. And if we watch the spots on the film, we can see that the hand really isn't moving, but he's pulling the body past the spot that his hand enters. We can see the nice high elbow. We can see the breath. As his hand comes by his head, he turns the head away from that hand. As it starts to pull, he puts the hand back in the head back in the water. Here's the turn, a definite explosion off the wall rather than a squat and push off the wall. See, there's a definite catch-up, definite body roll. We can see a definite back end, a definite front end. He has the 5 fundamentals that all great freestylers have. He pulls a little bit straight arm because he's a sprinter, and a distance freestyler might, but he still has the 5 fundamentals: front, back end, body roll, catch up, high elbow. See the power phase and the step action on the turn. It's an explosion in and out of the wall rather than a squat and push. Underwater, we can see the definite roll. He uses a 2-beat crossover kick, but it makes no difference. Kick is not a fundamental of freestyle. something that he does with his legs so that he stabilizes his body. Here we have Jack Babashoff, swims for Don Gambrell at the University of Alabama, and Dick Jokums at Beach Swim Club. He's a little flat on his entry. He has never been noted for good starts or turns, but they've gotten better over the years. We take a look for the fundamentals. Starts his legs first, then he adds the arms. We can see he's still too flat on his start, but has gotten better. He is continuing to work on this. On the stroke, we can see a high elbow. We can see a definite press, see a definite push through the back end. We can see there's a definite body roll, and there's a definite catch-up. On stop action above water, we can see the hand enter. You see the high elbow on the other hand. It has not come out yet. The other hand is entered. We can see a definite push through the back end, and we can see as the hand enters, he's definitely on that shoulder. Underwater, there's the left hand. He's on the left shoulder. It's about halfway through the pole. We will see the other hand, right arm, enter, and he will switch shoulders. He will roll through the water. He flows through the water rather than powers himself and swims flat. You can see that he uses a 2-beat crossover kick also. Once again, kick is not a fundamental freestyle. It is done to stabilize the body in the water. He explodes into the wall. You can see that he does extend his legs prior to hitting the wall, so he has an explosion off the wall, even though he is not noted as a good turner. That's why he's a better meter swimmer than he is a short course yard swimmer. Always has been. Saw a little dolphin kick as he went in to get some momentum so that he could throw his legs over. Above water, we can look for the fundamentals: the push, the press, the roll, the catch-up, and the high elbow. He has all 5 things. We can see this from above water. We can see it underwater. This makes Jack, and is the reason that he is a world-class swimmer. He has the 5 fundamental things that all great freestylers do. Underwater, we look: the press, definite push through the back end, definite body roll. We can't see the high elbow recovery, but we can see a definite catch-up. Close-up of his turn, it starts to extend his legs just before they hit the wall, so there's an explosion in and out of the wall rather than a squat and push. We can see the good back end on that shot, dolly shot. We can see a good catch in the front end, good press. We can see a definite back end on the stroke. There's an extension of the arms through the back end. We can see the high elbow recovery. You can see the extension of the legs prior to them hitting the wall there. And we, once again, just like we would be walking with him on this dolly shot. You can see a nice press in the front end, good back end, high elbow recovery, definite body roll, and a definite catch-up. Both hands are in the water. There's no dead spot in Jack's stroke. This is Bruce Furness, the gold medalist in the 200-meter freestyle, swims for Peter Dalen at USC and Dick Jokums at Beach Swim Club. Once again, on the dive, he controls the depth by the arch of his body, arch of his back. He's using the conventional start, in through a spot, starts his legs first, and adds the arms. I think Bruce Furness is one of the prettiest swimmers, has an almost perfect stroke. See the nice high elbow recovery, see the turn, kicked off the wall, adds an arm, and he's swimming freestyle. Nice high elbow recovery. You can see a depth. As the left hand enters, you can see it actually feel for water. It looks like it's standing still. It's pressing down and back. It's about halfway through its pole. You can see the right hand enter the water. There's definite catch-up. As the right hand enters, he's gone to the right shoulder. Starts to press. Looks like it stands still. Now it's moving. You can see him start to switch shoulders. On the dolly shot we have, you can see how high his arm recovery is, how he kept the elbows high. Underwater, he's a little flat on the turn there, but you can see a definite press in the front end, definite push through the back end, definite body roll, definite catch-up. On the breath, as the hand comes by his head, he turns it. As it starts to pull, he turns it, puts it back in. See that there's no wasted motion. He flows through the water rather than powers himself through the water. Tremendous body roll. He uses a 6-beat kick. Once again, that is not a fundamental. Extension of the legs prior to hitting the wall, and then he explodes off the wall. Look for the 5 fundamental things. Front end, nice press, back end, a push all the way through, body roll, catch up, high elbow recovery. Dolphin kick there to get his momentum into the turn. You can see a definite body roll back in. He has the 5 fundamental things. That's why he's a world-class freestyler.